Hello YouTube, my name is Nataro and today I'll be bringing you Project Cars Classic Team Lotus review. Yeesh. Here are the top 12 cars we have already done. We're going to be adding 5 more out of this list of 17. Again, this is the top 12. Now, I will not be bringing you guys Type 25 gameplay. I did all the other cars and I spent, gosh, who knows how long getting video for these cars. It wasn't working for the Type 25. I don't know what the deal was. I was just like, you know what, screw it. Just cut it out, I'll have it in the end of the video, whatever. But up first is the Lotus Type 38 Ford, which has a top speed of 200 and a horsepower of 495, which is one of my more favorite cars in the DLC. It is not my favorite. My favorite is the Type 40 Ford, which is coming up next. Alright, to kick things right out of the gate, as I say all the time, it has a design of 8.4 and a sound of 6.8 with a handling of 2.0. Those don't sound too great. The only thing that looks great is the 8.4 on the design. Now, it doesn't sound all that great, and it doesn't handle all that great either, but what makes it cool is it's an Indy car. This is one of the very first Indy cars, and I have, you know, little miniature diecast of these, so this is just like a really cool add to the game. This is more of a like nostalgia or previous or deja vu moment, if you will. I really love this car. I can't wait to get it on some of the older ovals like Indianapolis or I don't think Indy goes to Daytona for the big oval, not that I know of. But this is a really cool car. I recommend it to anybody. It is so much fun. I don't understand what it is about this car. It handles like crap. And its sound is decent. It's not bad, I suppose, but that's just what I think of it. It performs best on ovals. I tried road courses, so coming to Mojave or the Sidewinder are great places for this car to be. Anything else, it's only got 2 gears. So, I mean, anything else, like I said, as I've already said like 3 times, it doesn't do all that great. It doesn't. Coming in the second part of this video is my favorite car out of all of the classic Lotuses is the Type 40 Ford. This thing is just, it is just beautiful. I don't really know much about this car and what Le Mans races it has ran, but I do know it has a top speed of 180 and horsepower of 385. Again, I don't know if it's ever gone to, I know it's gone to Le Mans, but I don't know much about its history, and I know it did compete against the Ford and a couple others there's a couple others in this game. I don't really know much about this car. It just sounds amazing. This is like it's the most beautiful sounding car in this game. Out of all the cars I've ever ran across, out of every car I've ever used in any video game, excluding NASCARs. NASCAR's just automatically at first. That's first by default. But this is just the prettiest sounding race car you'll ever come across. And note, these are custom-built sounds, and this does sound relatively close to what it did in real life. You can find YouTube videos on it. I might leave a link down in the description below. If not, I'm sorry, I probably forgot by the time I put this video up. But it's pretty darn close to what it sounds like in real life, and it's still one of the best sounding cars ever. Nonetheless, I'm going to give it a design of 6.0, a sound of 9.7, and a handling of 6.4. Again, the sound's awesome. Handling's decent. It's better than the Type 38. And its design is not the coolest looking car. I prefer the Ford version. I prefer caper cars. I prefer a lot of things over the design of this car. I just purely like this car for its sound. Which brings it to a total of 22.1 with an average of 7.9. No, I round these. I usually cut these videos short, but I'm going to let you guys watch me do these awesome donuts. And I'm back with the Lotus Type 49C Cosworth. Now, this is the 6th car out of the free cars. There is 6 of them in total. I've done previous reviews. You can go check them out on my channel. But this one is probably, like, out of all the classic Lotuses that you see people using, this is the more popular one, as it is probably the easiest one to drive out of all of them. I mean, it has a pretty big torque curve in the beginning, but I think once you get around second, it handles pretty good. It's one of the best handling cars for all of these cars. I mean, they're very hard to drive. Although the next one after this handles really well, but it ain't really fast, so I mean, it kind of makes it out. I'm going to give it a design of 7.0, as it is a very cool and classic looking type race car. This is the kind that you see in pictures or you see in the movies. More of, anyway. Now, I'm also going to give it a sound of 6.0, as I think it's a little bit flat compared to its real-life comparison, which I understand old videos don't do it justice of really old race cars, but it's a bit flat, I think. I don't know, it doesn't, like, I have 3-dimensional headsets, or 3D headsets, don't need to sound professional there, but it picks up sound really well, and it doesn't, I don't feel like I'm really driving a real-life race car with this car. I feel like other race cars have more sound to them than this one does. And I gave it a handling of 8.8, as it is the 2nd best handling car in the game. I'm not sure what it is about this car. I imagine the wing, because there's another variant of this car called the 49 Cosworth, and that doesn't have any wing on the back. It's like literally the same car, but it has no wings. Yes, there is differences, but the wing makes up the majority of the differences. And that car was already previous in the game, so I'm not doing a in-the-game review, so that's not in here, but so it does handle better, and I think the wing makes a majority of it. And this will bring our score to a total of 21.8 with an average of 7.2. Up next is the Lotus Type 51. Here is the last car, the Lotus Type 51, with 120 miles per hour and a horsepower of 115. It handles great though, if that means anything. It has a design of 4.0 because let's just face it, this car is absolutely ugly. It looks like a potato with handles, I guess. I don't know. It's like really low cutting. You can see a lot of the driver. Not very aero in any way. I really can't think of much else to say of this car. It's just a very ugly car. And it's got a sound of 7.8, as it sounds very similar to the Cosworth, but I feel like this has more sound to it, or more audio. Like they did more work on the sound of this car than they did the Cosworth. This sounds much better, much better than the Cosworth, even though they're very similar sounds. I also gave it a handling of 9.1 because of I think it's because of its slower speed that it handles so well. That's the only thing I can really come up with. It has really no aero advantages compared to other cars. I mean, look at this thing. This will also bring it down to a total of 22.9 with a score of 7.6. And it's a pretty high score for a car that I'm absolutely hating, but I like to give these cars fair reviews and give them what I think other people will enjoy. And I recommend always that you buy every DLC that comes out for this game, because it gives them more money to build the next game and future DLC down the road. I'm going to leave you guys with this car. Up next coming is all the cars and where they placed. I'll be highlighting them so you can see which ones were just added, and then the other ones will show up in regular white. I'll be doing a wish list in this game for what I want to see in this game, actually, and then I'll be switching back to Battlefield. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Natero signing off.